What's up, everybody? King of FOMO here, coming at you with your daily crypto update. Make sure you follow me over there on CocoScope as well as my Telegram channel, t.me/KingofFOMO1. Today, we're going to be talking more about T2X, and my mind has really opened to this platform, and I've realized that this is more than just Hex on the Tron network. This because, tons of people were saying this before, that it's just Hex on Tron, but in reality, when you look deeper into this, and I'm going to get into this as much as I can, and I'm going to try to go slow for you guys. I know I oftentimes go really, really fast, but you're going to see that this is actually offering a really, really cool opportunity that Hex is nowhere near offering. And it's also going to be different than Wise token too. So comparing this platform right here, T2X to Hex, obviously makes sense because they're similar, but at the same time, they're very different in terms of profitability and what you're going to be doing in order to get that profitability from this platform. So I highly advise you guys watch the whole thing so that you understand what my strategy is and how don't make the mistake of just saying, oh, it's just Hex on Tron, because you're not going to maximize your opportunities by thinking that. And I'll get into all those reasons why. So the first thing that we want to look at, obviously we have the auction pool. When you guys want to use this platform and you want to get some T2X tokens, it works similar to Hex. You enter, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to be buying a lot here in a second. I don't know if I'm going to be doing this on video because I'm not sure exactly how much I want to buy, but you enter the amount, and then at the end of the day, so in 16 hours and 28 minutes, you're going to go ahead and close that, and you'll get your T2X sent to you. And now, obviously, just like Hex, if you're unsure how this works, the more Tron that goes into the contract for that day, the less T2X you're going to get. So you want to try and get in on a day that has a low entry, like day 3 was the lowest so far. There was a huge, really, really good deal here, 13.05 T2X per Tron. And I do think that it's going to be difficult to really find a good buy-in point for here, because I think it's gonna be past the million Tron mark for the next couple of days here, and I do think it's gonna lower because these things don't, like, this one doesn't have recycling in it, so there's gonna be a better buy-in time. But then, like, the really cool part is, like, you don't really have to worry too much about that, because if you're looking at the real profitability side of things with T2X, you're actually looking at dividends. And if you want to get the dividends of T2X, you need to buy earlier. You need to get as much coins as you can as early as possible to get the maximum amount of dividends, because as time goes on, that dividend pool is going to get less and less, and then the platform is going to get really interesting. So that's kind of the key difference here, is that with T2X, the way that I'm going to do is I'm going to work it completely and entirely on dividends, and the price of the T2X token, kind of like how the price of Hex has just skyrocketed moon upward, that might not be the case for T2X, because A, nobody's recycling in the platform. It's up to the people to recycle the Tron back into the platform, which might actually happen. And B, when this thing gets listed on an exchange, again, right now, a lot of the profitability is coming from dividends, not necessarily the token, so people are going to be staking that token anyway. So the whole system, the whole way that this is set up is really, really cool, due to the fact that there's going to be a lot of buys happening in the auction. There's going to be a lot of buys happening in the exchange when it gets listed on the exchange, and the most important part is there's going to be a lot of people staking, especially in the beginning here. So what am I talking about with staking? Now, this staking operates very differently than Hex staking. So let me go ahead and go over to the actual dividends side of things. So what happens is all of the Tron that gets put in the contract for the day, so right here you see 590,000 Tron is put in the contract for today. All of that Tron, or the majority of it mostly, is going to be put into this section right here called dividends. So instead of it going to some unknown address, it's going to this dividends pool. Now, the important thing here is you want to get yourself a piece of those dividends. So it's kind of, at this moment, like, in my personal opinion, is kind of dumb, it's kind of stupid to hold your Tron, or to hold your T2X tokens in your wallet and do nothing with them, because you're missing out on this fat juicy dividends pool. And the less people that are staking in here, if you have a bigger piece of that pie, you're going to get a bigger piece of that 590,000 Tron, which probably will most likely hit 1 million Tron by the end of the day. I'd be surprised if it didn't. So you want a piece of that pie, and the only way to get these dividends is to go over to here, to this third section right here, this staking. Let me go ahead and open that up, and to stake the T2X that you get. Now, again, the amount that you stake is going to be completely and entirely determined upon the auction, how much you're getting in the auction. Is it a good day? Is it a bad day? It really depends. But at the end of the day, you want to get staked as fast as possible so that you can get a piece of this giant dividends pool. Again, like I said, as the days go on, there's going to be more T2X. The supply is going to be higher. So that means that theoretically, more T2X is going to be staked just because the supply is higher. More people will have T2X, and there will be the divide in the pool will be much greater as the time goes by. So this is, in my opinion, time sensitive, which is why I'm going to go pretty heavy in this as early as I can. I'm going to see if I can get lucky today with some big buys and hope that the pool doesn't go up too high today. So you really have to kind of like time when you're buying in the auction. Obviously, the earlier, the better in terms of dividends. And obviously, you want to also time the entry level. So you want to get a low entry level, which is impossible to predict, but if you get a low entry level and you get in early, then you're going to get the highest profit from these dividends in the dividends pool. Now, again, this is very different than Hex, because with Hex, when Hex first launched, nobody was in profit on the first couple of days of Hex. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. It took a while for anybody to be able to sell their Hex in profitable terms for that. Even with staking, it's going to take tons and tons of days for them to even break even with staking with Hex. With T2X, I've heard plenty of stories of people saying, wow, I already hit ROI on day 2, 3, 4 here, and things are going to keep going on from here. I still have my T2X to hold. So that is the potential that you guys really have to understand, is staking is a big deal here, and getting these dividends is a big deal here, especially in these beginning phases. It's going to become less of a deal in the later phases because, again, the supply is going to be up significantly higher. So when you're looking at staking right here, staking looks like this. And obviously you pick the amount that you want to stake. So if I wanted to stake 1,000 tokens, or let's just do the whole, like the majority of it right here. So if I wanted to stake 2,000 tokens, you want to stake it for a longer period of time. And I have to look into exactly when you're going to get the dividends reward, because it would be counterintuitive to stake it for a longer period of time if you're going to get the dividends rewards at that longer period of time. But let's just say that I wanted to stake these for 5 days. You can see that my time bonus is going to give me 4 extra T2X. So I do get T2X for doing staking as well. It's like it's not different than Hex in that way. You do still get a benefit of getting more T2X for staking for a longer period of time, that kind of thing. But I also get a portion of that dividends pool as well. And, you know, the way that it works is when you stake, well, when you buy your tokens, you have to wait until that timer runs out. You have to claim your tokens. Then you stake your tokens. You have to wait 2 days for that stake to actually start to accumulate profits for you. And then when your stake ends, you should get everything that's listed on here, including the amount that you're supposed to get in the dividends pool. Now, obviously, if you have more T2X in here, you're going to get more of the dividends pool. You're going to get more T2X back. And if you stake for a longer period of time, same deal with that. So again, the whole setup for here is completely different because of that dividends pool. Again, so many people have been getting ROI and more with this dividends pool. So again, like it's really interesting because I mean I can't tell you guys like the key strategy or anything like that because it is slightly based on luck. It really does depend on how many people are buying into that into the daily entry and how many people are staking. But like as time goes on, it's going to be really interesting to see what T2X does in terms of the price of the T2X token, the dividends included, the staking benefits. So you know the formula looks like it works really well on T2X. Now again, I talked about Wise token the other day. This is different than Wise. This is different than Hex because of that dividends pool. Definitely don't sleep on this one, guys. And just to finalize just my strategy, and again, I'm not always right, and I can't predict anything with this because I don't know how many people are going to buy in any days or what's going to happen with that. But my strategy previously was to kind of space it out over time, buy a little bit here and there over time, over a longer period of time. And you can still do that, and that's kind of probably going to be the safer option, to be honest. But if you want to kind of get the more profitable option, you're going to have to roll the dice a little bit, get a low day entry, and do a large amount early. And if you do a large amount early and get a low day entry and that dividend pool is high, then make sure that you stake that ASAP. And you hear like my FOMO for the whole staking part of this and the benefits you get from staking. That really benefits the platform because more of the T2X is going to be locked up, which is theoretically going to raise the price of it even more. And I'm not even going to get into what I think the price of this token is going to be once it hits the exchange, because that's a whole another thing. Like people might buy on the exchange because it might be cheaper and the staking platform will even it out. So I think that this is going to work very similar to Hex, guys, and I think that it might even work better than Hex, because I've heard tons of people complaining about just Ethereum in general, and the fees for doing anything in Ethereum are super high. Tron does not have those issues. So get yourself some Tron, check out T2X for yourself, and like I said, just test it out, see what you guys are getting back percentage wise with the dividends when you're buying these tokens and staking them as well. That is everything for today, guys. I wanted to make sure that you guys got a full overview of that, and I'll give you guys my whole journey on this T2X token as time goes on here too. I'm going to do my big buy right now, and again, I'm not like emptying the bank today, because I'm going to be a little smart and still buy over time a little bit, but I'm trying to do as many of my buys as early as possible and try to get as lucky as possible. Unfortunately, like I'm just feeling like today's going to be a super high day, day 6 here, so we'll see what happens. All right, guys, maybe I'll do a video showing you guys the stake later, because some people are getting confused about it. Says I'm going to be in here for 16 days. No, but I have to do a separate video on that, because that's going to get confusing if I start talking about it and don't actually show you. But I'll catch you guys in the next video. Make sure that you subscribe if you're not subscribed to this channel yet. Hit that like button. Peace out.